Gemma, a very sad day for the family of Sarah Everard. They'll never, ever get over it, of course. Do you think things have improved much for women? Do women feel safer now, perhaps, than they did 2 years ago on the streets of our towns and cities?
It will be very difficult for her family for many years to come. But no, I don't think things have improved at all. I think the police have doubled down and been defensive instead of acknowledging and actually addressing issues. And not just the police, the CPS, the whole justice system really have issues with dealing with violence against women and girls, including probation, as we know from the murder of Sarah a few weeks ago. I don't think women and girls do feel safer. And I think their trust in the justice system to deal with that is at an all-time low. And I don't think it's improving.
What do they need to do to improve things, Gemma?
I think that they need to take on, just like any professional does, they need to take on the feedback instead of getting defensive about it and saying it's only a few bad apples, instead of having that defensive, deflexive reaction. They need to listen to organisations that deal with victims day in and day out on the front line, and they really need to change how they train their police officers. Most police officers don't have training in domestic abuse, even though that is a huge number of the call-outs they get. It's quite crazy and ridiculous that is allowed to happen. Any other professional who wasn't trained in something that they dealt with day to day would be told they weren't fit to practice, they weren't qualified to practice. It should be the same with police officers. They need to be trained in what they're doing.
And Gemma, for you, that you've got a personal interest in this, which explains a lot of your work with Yes Matters.
My sister, Sasha Marsden, was raped and murdered 10 years ago this year. And for me, the work that I've been doing, the thing that doesn't seem to change is that we don't take violence against women and girls seriously. When you think about Wayne Couzens or Carrick or David Minto in my sister's case, they all have a history of offences that were dismissed and not taken seriously until there was unfortunately that dead body at the end, and we're still making that same mistake.
Do you think the fact that police officers now, we saw it with Couzens, and you just referred to David Carrick, he got a life sentence with a minimum term of 30 years for a reign of terror against women. Do you think the fact that police officers in uniform are involved will now perhaps finally get some serious action from the police?
I think it's not just the police officers themselves, the perpetrator police officers. It's the ones that knew about them. Many of them knew about Carrick. Wayne Couzens had, the horrible nickname that he had within the force. So it isn't as if these people who are perpetrators within the police aren't known about. So not only do the officers themselves need addressing, but I want to know about what's being done about all the people that condoned and enabled that person to continue. I want to know